It was a heartless, calculated attack on the Canadian vaping industry, delivered late last month, deep into the Christmas holiday season. In what could only be described as an arbitrary and capricious act, the Toronto-Dominion Bank and its Merchant Solutions division canceled online credit card processing services for vaping retailers in Canada. The shocking announcement came in a letter posted December 19th, just days before Christmas. TD executives informed merchants that vaping retailers in Canada are now to be considered the equivalent of tobacco merchants. TD gave retailers until January 13th to find another payment processor, leaving most only 2 weeks' notice to save their online business. TD's move was precipitated by U.S. credit card giant MasterCard, which followed the FDA's lead and deemed vaping products to be tobacco products, placing them in a high-risk category. However, MasterCard didn't cancel its services. It only levied new fees. It was TD Merchant Solutions that used the recategorization as a pretext to torpedo the vaping industry in Canada. Joining us today to unwind the TD decision, delve into the impacts, and to discuss what the vaping industry is doing to save the online business is e-commerce consultant Beatrice Hurley and vape store owner Jack Weinberg from happyvapor.com. Let's start with you first, Beatrice. You're an expert in the e-commerce space and work on behalf of the vast majority of vape retailers here in Canada. What's your direct experience working with TD?
I actually got involved with it when TD Merchant Services started getting, more and more vaping companies coming in saying, hey, look, we want to provide credit card processing for our clients. So TD would refer those clients to me, and that's when I started working directly with TD Merchant Services.
So Beatrice, I take it you've got the inside scoop then on what's going on.
Yes, actually, I started getting wind of what was happening with MasterCard back in August. As soon as the FDA deeming regulations came out on the 8th of August, then I was informed by TD Merchant Services directly that MasterCard was looking at, taking the e-cigarette industry and throwing it into a tobacco category, which would make us high risk, just like in the US.
Now, is that what they've done here in Canada?
That is what they've done. Initially back in August, I worked with TD Bank, and I got together a bunch of information as far as legislation, and I reiterated the fact that as we stand right now, we are not classified as tobacco. So I tried getting them to classify us as a specialty store in the interim until the federal government actually came out with the legislation for us and how we were going to be, legislated and in what group, and provided all the information back to MasterCard, and they decided not to go with, with the recommendations that we had given to them.
So Beatrice, encapsulate for us the TD decision.
The minute that MasterCard classified the e-cig industry as tobacco, Toronto-Dominion Bank, initially, with my discussions with them, had said that, we're going to have $1,000, I'm not sure if they call it a finder's fee or a setup fee, but there was $1,000 fee for you to, that you would have to pay in order to process MasterCard transactions. But then TD Bank turned around and decided that they were going to completely get out of the vaping industry on an online basis and just go with retail.
But Beatrice, TD didn't apply this decision to all vaping merchants in Canada, did they?
What TD had chosen to do was to get rid of about 99% of the vaping industry for online transactions. And instead, they decided to keep about 10 or 12 of their largest clients. So, it's pick and choosing who they want to keep and who they don't want to keep. And so it's affecting, 99% of the industry, basically. And so there were letters sent out notifying people they had until, Friday the 13th coming up to process transactions, and then they had to, find an alternative. And the people that were chosen to stay were just contacted via telephone. They did not receive any letter from TD.
Well, Jack, you were one of those retailers that received a termination of services letter. As one of the pioneers in the vaping industry, how would you characterize TD's behavior on this matter?
Cruel. I mean, they gave absolute, to give 2 or 3 weeks notice for people to find a new, you don't even have any ability to negotiate terms with another merchant. You got to take what you can get, because otherwise you're not going to be able to service customers and they're going to go elsewhere. So we're being forced at a pretty critical, this is a very busy time for our industry, for many industries, but for our industry, it's very busy. And to be thrown this kind of a curveball, it seems like hurtful. It seems like it's intended to hurt the industry.
Jack, what's been the emotional impact on you, and how big of a hit is it going to be to lose the online credit card processing?
Oh, it's frustrating and stressful. If we don't find an appropriate replacement, then it puts us at a strong disadvantage, and it makes puts our customers in a really tough situation where, you know, they may have a hard time dealing with payment, and they may go to another vendor in order to do so. Seeing that vendors close to us do still accept credit cards through TD Merchant Services, and we won't be able to accept credit cards at all, it would kill our online business.
Beatrice, is there good reason for vaping retailers like Jack to hope that another provider would swoop in and save the day?
There's definitely hope, actually. Since August, I've been diligently looking at other credit card providers as, a new merchant service provider and new gateways. And we have a few in the wings right now. And I've gotten verbal confirmation that we can proceed for another couple as well. So as it stands right now, the vaping industry is basically going to have a coup. And we, by banding together and going out looking for a merchant service provider with our entire vaping portfolio in Canada, in effect, we're not really going to be affected by what TD has done to us. The vaping industry will continue on as normal, and, we won't forget what TD did to us. I mean, what they did is incomprehensible. It's, disgusting. It's going and classifying us as tobacco when we are not. And it is using the laws and regulations in a different country to dictate how we are going to be treated, and that's not the way that it's supposed to be.
Jack, after all this is said and done, how do you think the vaping community is going to respond? Will this have a negative impact on TD Bank?
No, hugely. I think we're in a community that's pretty tight. We're every vapor, or most vapors, are advocates by nature, and we're not going to be quiet about this. And I'm confident that if I have other business ventures, or that, it doesn't matter if their prices are way cheaper than the competitors, there's no way they'll see my business.
And Beatrice, what do you think?
The vaping industry is completely going to revolt, and on a retail level as well, and say, well, you know what, TD, you provided us with all this service, and then arbitrarily decide to, cut us off at the gate. So I suspect that there's going to be a lot of people leaving TD and not going back to TD.
Well, that's it for this edition of RegWatch. Before you head off, please like us on Facebook and don't forget to follow us on Twitter. For RegulatorWatch.com, I'm Brent Stafford.